Hello, you beautiful souls. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Michelle. We talk about things like love, spirituality, law of attraction, and all of that juicy goodness. We are here for an outdoor reading. It is beautiful here in New Jersey in the States. It's actually kind of hot. It's almost getting up to like 83 or 84 today. It's 81 right now. I just spent some time at the pool, hence the suit and the getup. And I just grabbed, you should not be drinking this, but I'm drinking it. It's my favorite energy drink. I just cracked it open, so I'm not bursting with energy because of this, because it's not in my system yet, but I just felt called to do a reading. But this is red berry, it's Sour Patch red berry. It's so good. I literally only drink like a quarter of the can, but I have that and my favorite snack. I have my gummy Star Mix. These are my favorite little afternoon treat. Every few days, I'll treat myself to it because I try not to eat too much sugar at all. But yeah, so let's get started with the reading and let's see what messages we need to hear today. We're going to start with my Kim Kranz's animal deck, the wild unknown, and I just saw deer at the bottom of the deck. We are starting out with a bang. We have the dragon. This is all about hopping on the back of the dragon and letting it take you somewhere. So I just did a session today with a wonderful woman and she knows who she is. She's from Canada. She's awesome. She's a screenwriter and going to be a director. And we were talking about her little project, her baby, that she's trying to pitch it to certain people to get to find the perfect actress. And we were talking about how she's just chilling with this beautiful baby and we're going to let the universe take it to the people it's meant to go to. Because, and I didn't say this in the session, but it just came to me right now, but sometimes the universe knows, you know, what people are going to produce and create the film in the way that it's going to be received, in the way that it's going to be needed to be received by the public. So sometimes there might be a certain person that you think fits the role, and then it's like, no, my gosh, why did that fall through? It's because the universe has a better plan and we can't quite see it yet, but the dragon can see. Okay, so we have to hop on his back and let him take it. She also got the giraffe card in her reading, and it's all about like this long neck, right? The giraffe can see way in advance. It can see everything that's going to happen, and we can't. So we have to trust and come back, step back, look at the bigger picture and say, this is out of my control. I can't control whose hands this this project is going to get in, but I'm going to trust that the universe is going to take it there. So have faith. First message is hop on the dragon's back and let it take you where you need to go. And it will bring you people, places, and things along the way to learn lessons to strengthen you so you have that empowerment to speak your truth. Because for someone like my client, she's going into an industry where she probably needs to have a strong will to say, I created this and I don't want anyone touching it that's going to do anything to it. So she has to be very protective, but she also has to be open to suggestions and constructive criticism, but she knows in her heart when something feels right. So she's learning lessons along the way. And that's why you always hear a come up story with people who get rejected like 10 to 15 times. And then like the 16th company, publishing company, whatever it is, they accept it and they take it. It's because all of those rejections, that single person who's trying to put out this dream, they had to heal their abandonment wound, their rejection wound, their fear of not being accepted. And to be in that industry, it's a big deal. So she's crushing it though. She has such an amazing connection with her spirit guides and her angels. Okay, next message. Full moon. I don't know when our next full moon is. We just had one we had a new moon last Friday. But the nightingale is all about like maybe writing a book or writing, being a screenwriter, you know, writing a film. But this is like letting your song out, like finally sharing what it is. Deer at the bottom, how can you mother yourself more? But how can you let your song out? Like, how can you share what you have inside of you with the world? This, I don't know if you guys know this, but I do like a spirit animal spread for the entire year. And the center card is like your overall. It's like your one animal for the whole year of 2023. And then you have an animal for each month. And it's like a clock. The top, the 12 o'clock position is January, February, March, April, May, and it goes all the way around. I kind of created it on my own and I started to sell it. So if any of you are looking for that, it's in the description box below. And even though it's mid-year, you can still purchase one. It's only $20.23. I make it the amount of the year. But Nightingale, this is my animal for the entire year of 2023. And this is all about composing something, writing something, putting something out there, speaking. And I feel called to maybe write a book one day about my story and my journey and teaching people how to co-create. I just don't know. It's not coming through me yet. So I have to sit and wait on that. But this is also like speaking. So I see this as maybe my YouTube channel growing. And every day it grows, which is so cool. But today I just had the intention that I want it to grow more. I want it to grow faster. So hopefully you guys can all put that energy into my channel and just imagine every day when you come on here to see my numbers growing, to see me like right now, I think I'm at 2.25 thousand, 2,250. I think, I'm not sure. I try not to look at it too much because I just want it to grow, because the more you focus on it, sometimes you push it away. But how cool would it be if I had 225,000? So maybe you guys can help me manifest seeing it and not seeing the little decimal in there. And it's just 225,000 followers. And that's, as you know, the people that I can have an impact on. I love what I do and I want to reach more. So I feel like this is me. This is somebody out there. You're perching up and you're putting your song out there. You're putting your book out there. You're putting your YouTube channel out there. You're putting some sort of project out into the world, and the world needs what you have. Okay, let's get another one. Here we go. What's it gonna be? B. How funny. I love my spirit guides. Okay, so the B represents, could be one, take a vacation. I just heard those sweet results await. So you're waiting on something to arrive. You're waiting on that next connection. And the B is like hard at work. So I feel like this is a message, which is also, I feel like this reading is for my client. This is a message when you're overworked and you're buzzing around like a bee, trying to do all these things. It's time to stop flapping your wings and it's time to go play. Some of the best manifestations have come into my life and my clients' lives when we pause and go play. When you take a trip to the beach, when you go to an amusement park, when you forget about life and you just go play. So I feel like this message, this card in this deck actually means you're overworked and it's time to rest. And then there's another animal deck that I have where the bee means sweet results are coming. So I feel like this is more of a vacation for somebody. Somebody needs to take a vacation. They need to get out of their environment. They need to, switch up their routine. It also could mean whatever you're putting out into the world, you're going to get those sweet results. And the universe is going to take care of it for you. You don't have to flap your wings anymore. You've done all the work. Now it's time to sit back and receive. Let's get confirmation on that with my Micah Magic deck, and then we'll do tarot. Quick sip. Cheers to anybody else drinking a lovely beverage. Fun fact, it's actually terrible to drink out of aluminum cans. It's a heavy metal and it's not good for your body. So the way to cleanse your body of heavy metals, if you've been eating a lot of canned foods, you drink out of cans, maybe you use aluminum foil to cook, try not to do it as much. That's why I only drink these a couple times, like a month. But the way to purge heavy metals out of your body is celery juice. Just take celery. You can buy like a $50 or $60 juicer at Target or a local, I'm sure on Amazon. If you guys are out of the country and you don't have a Target. But if you just take celery, stick it through a juicer, literally, it'll juice it into the perfect concoction. You don't need anything else. You don't have to add any lemon or anything to it. And you drink it first thing in the morning, and it will purge the heavy metals from your brain, from your liver, and normally you'll know that you have a ton of heavy metals if you have skin issues. Okay, so a little nutrition fact there. So like I said, I'm not promoting drinking this. I'm not saying you should. I just like it as a treat every once in a while because you only live once, which is kind of a lie because we live many lives. But yeah, I kind of like to reverse the damage by doing my celery juice. Okay, you can trust that voice. So if there, I just heard somebody has been teetering with like making a decision or maybe asking somebody out or maybe leaving a partnership. As we talk about in all of these readings, there's always big decisions because if you think about it, this reading is being watched by, however many people. But imagine in 3 years, this video is still going to be out there and somebody could be watching it 3 years from now and it could resonate. So there could be hundreds of thousands of people who are needing to make a decision. So when I have repeating messages, especially in relationship readings, the typical scenario is somebody's in a marriage that they're unhappy and they meet somebody and they're like, oh my gosh, I can't cheat, but what do I do? And they have to take the leap and choose love and choose themselves. So this is whatever you're hearing in your head, you can trust it. I'm going to share an example real fast again, which happened in my client session this morning. We started out the session just catching up because we hadn't talked in a bit and we were just like shooting the shit. And she's a really cool woman. And we were talking about how there was two situations, one in my life, one in her life, where we really had to trust our inner knowing. So absorb this real fast. All right, everyone pay attention, open up your ears, eyes, and hearts right now. When your body is telling you that you're exhausted, you're tired, you don't want to be somewhere, you don't want to do something, but on the outside, it doesn't make sense. Here's an example. In December, it was the second week in December, I was feeling so incredibly exhausted. I was sitting on my one-on-one sessions. I was doing readings. I was mentoring people. People had paid me for the month to mentor them. And I was sitting on these calls and I couldn't sit there. I was so antsy. It just didn't feel right. And I was so scared. I'm like, oh my gosh, if I'm not doing these one-on-one sessions, what am I going to do for a living? Like I can't go get a regular job, but that's how my mind works. It doesn't think that this could just be temporary and maybe I just need to rest. So I kept hearing, Michelle, take 2 weeks off. That was the voice. Michelle, take 2 weeks off. But I was resistant. I finally surrendered and I texted all of my clients after I talked to my mentor because I was just like, do I listen to this voice? And she goes, yeah. She goes, girl. She's like, you manifest things in incredible ways. She's like, you just trust that inner voice and you do it. So I texted all of my clients and I said, listen, I'm going through something. I need space. I hope you can honor my space. I'll return your money if you need to, or we can just like pause for 2 weeks and then we'll regroup in 2 weeks. So I ended up taking 3 weeks off. Christmas came, New Year's came. The second week in January, the universe brought me $25,000 out of nowhere. And obviously, if I would have kept doing my sessions, I wouldn't have made near that much money, but it was okay for me to rest. My soul knew that that money was coming the second week in January, but I didn't know. But my soul was talking to me through my body saying, Michelle, you can rest. You can take some time off. You can literally just rest and heal. And this is the first, it's been a year and a half since I've ever just not worked a full-time job, like a teaching job. So my nervous system is still getting used to like not getting up and going somewhere. So I think I was finally able to like really rest for those 3 weeks and it was the best thing ever. But I didn't fully like allow myself to do it because I didn't know the 25,000 was coming. So where in your life is your body telling you right now to do something that doesn't make sense to anybody else? If I would have talked to every other person, they would be like, what are you doing? I think you need to go get like a waitressing job or you need to do something. Like I literally was waking up and only filming YouTube videos. So you can trust that inner knowing. And even with my client story, she was editing her whatever the project that she wrote. She was working with a producer and an actress, and they were wanting to like, or no, that was a different story. But the producer and an actress she was supposed to like edit the film for them to read, and something told her not to. She just was not doing it. She was not editing it. She's like, why don't I want to do this? And then like a couple weeks later, they backed out or she realized it wasn't in alignment. So they weren't meant to work with that screenplay. So she knew not by her urge to not want to edit, that was her soul saying, this isn't right. Just take some rest. Don't do it right now. And you'll see in a little bit that this is not right. And it's going to fall away. So don't waste your energy editing it when it's not for this group. So those are two examples of how, and I might even make a whole manifesting video on this, but you can trust that voice. It's literally, your body is everything. And it's not, I don't know how to describe it. When you don't want to do something, there's a reason why you don't want to do it. Here's another example. Last night, I got done at the pool. I came in and I was like, I really should go work out. I didn't work out yesterday. And I'm like, I really should go. Michelle, you should go. And I'm like, why do I just want to take a bath and do nothing? And I just took the bath. And I was in the bathtub and my sister sends me a text and I completely lost track of what day it was. It was my nephew's choir concert. And I'm sitting in the bathtub and she's like, hey, are you coming to Vinny's concert? And I'm like, oh my God, I totally forgot. I'm like, yes, what time is it? She's like, it's 7 o'clock. It was 5:30 when I was in the bathtub. So how perfect. I was already being cleansed and all I had to do was like fix up my hair, throw on a cute dress, and I was out the door by 6:30. So if I went and worked out, I would have missed it. Or maybe she would have texted and I wouldn't have seen it because I put my phone on do not disturb when I work out at the park. So see how that aligned? I listened to my body because my soul was saying, no, you need to go to this concert because it's going to mean the world to your nephew. And my nephew is 10 years old. He's the nephew who is the same age as my daughter. So I was pregnant with Micah, my daughter, who passed from a muscle disorder 10 years ago. If you're new to my channel, sorry to abruptly throw that at you. But my sister was pregnant with me. So she was having her fourth child. So we were pregnant the whole time together. And then I had Micah in July. And unfortunately, she was born with a muscle disorder. It was part of her path. She passed August 29th. And then my sister had Vinny October 20th. And it was actually really cool because I was forced to go back into a hospital setting 2 months post loss, which was really, really intense and difficult. I just had so much anxiety going into the hospital. I didn't like the hospital because it just reminded me of my loss. But his birth helped me heal. So he is like this little angel to me. And they're all of my nieces and my nephews saved me during that time. I have 11 of them. But Vinny is special because he's the same age as Micah. He was, I don't know, he was just a part of that birth process. So, and when he saw that I was there, he was in like the little cafeteria as we walked by, his face lit up. He was like, oh my God, Aunt Shushi's here. And I was like, oh my gosh, I just could melt just seeing his face and his excitement. And then when he came off the stage, I was like, I am so proud of you. I was like, even if you didn't even perform tonight, I'm like, I just love you for breathing. And it's just those moments that if I would have gone to work out, I would have missed that memory, that core memory that I just created with my nephew. So remember, trust your nudges. When something doesn't make sense, it's okay. Just trust it. You are here for a bigger purpose. And I get a lot of people that come to me and say, well, I'm just, a waitress, or I'm just a clerk, or I just work in sales. And they don't take their work, they don't take it seriously. They think they're not making an impact. But I always think that like every single human is making an impact because you're literally just affecting people that you meet all day long. It doesn't matter what you're doing. You're just in communication with humans all day long. And what are you doing? What are you saying? How are you leaving them feeling? That is your purpose, is your energy. And who's to say, like, say you're, I don't know, 30 years old and you just quit like a full-time job because you're like, I don't know what I'm doing next. It just doesn't feel right. So you go and get this like interim job. In the meantime, what if that job connects you to someone who you're going to start a business with? But the universe is like, we're going to have them work this kind of side job for a bit, even though that's not their main purpose, but they need to connect it to this person that already works there. And all of a sudden you're magnetized to this person, and then you go off and you do your bigger mission. So that one job was a stepping stone. So please don't overlook where you are. Don't judge it. Don't think it's not right. Even if you're not working at all, there's something being birthed in you. There's something that wants to come through you. So trust that. Okay. Trust that no matter where you are, it is fun to enjoy the journey. You're not just looking to go find your mission. Every single day is part of your mission because it's all of these little pieces to your puzzle. And I never want to skip somebody ahead and say, oh, that's just a stepping stone. You got something bigger in the future. That stepping stone can still be fun. You can still create cool connections with people. You can still experience joy. Maybe you're experiencing some rest that you haven't gotten in like 20 years. So every single part of your journey serves a purpose. Sorry, I keep itching my face. My fan is like blowing the hair on me. Just so clutch because it is a little hot out here. Okay, revisit your path and see how it all worked out. I'm going to get a tarot card on this. Revisit your path. Why do we need to revisit our path? Okay, yep. So we have the Tower card. So look back in your life. The Tower card represents like a huge life change that's out of your control. So it's like the universe comes in and kind of creates chaos in your life. For me, it was the loss of my daughter. I wasn't expecting that. It came out of nowhere. That's a Tower moment. It was a lightning bolt to my body saying, wake up, Michelle, you're here for something bigger. And if you go back and you revisit your path, like I just did, I just looked back in 2012 when that happened to me. I saw that it was a Tower moment, but it led me to where I am now, because if I didn't have that experience, I wouldn't be talking to all of you. I wouldn't have gone to go see mediums for them to tell me, Michelle, you're going to be doing this in the future. And I didn't believe them. I was like, yeah, right, I'm a teacher. No way. I didn't believe in all of that. Where in your life can you look back and see all the breakdown, the sadness, the disappointment, the upheaval? How has that changed you? And how did the universe show up for you? And how were you guided? How were you on the universe's back and it took you to a better spot? So I just heard divine masculines are going to be going through a Tower moment. And not to scare anybody, but the Tower moment is a breakup, is changing of careers, is a loss in some way. Maybe they lose a parent, maybe they lose a sibling, but divine masculines are going through, and if you don't know what a divine masculine is, there is a divine feminine and a divine masculine in all of us. But in partnership, one person holds more of a masculine energy. It doesn't have to be gender related, doesn't have to be male or female, but normally there's one who's more masculine. Whoever that is going to be going through some sort of Tower moment. They're having this awakening and they're like, crap, like shit, either it's going to be kind of like thrown at them and they're not going to know it's coming, or they're creating it on their own because they want to create change in their life. They're realizing that where they are is not working and they want better for themselves. So they might be creating, and this, I just heard it can be really peaceful. A breakdown can be very peaceful if you do it, maneuver it in the right way. And if you're surrounded by people who are mature and can handle change very well. Which I'm so glad that I've done all the work that I've done. I don't know if you guys know this, but I've done 5 years of trauma healing and energy work on my body. And I worked with my mentor. We did sessions. They're called bioenergetic synchronization technique, where she would hold pressure points on my head and I would do these breathing exercises. And we were tapping into my subconscious to see, like, what is my body still holding on to that I'm not consciously aware of? And let me tell you, there's so many different layers with my mom. Believe it or not, my loss with my daughter holds only a couple layers, but the trauma, the years of pain and suffering that I experienced in my childhood, that was like over probably 50 sessions of just me crying on a massage table, getting work done on my nervous system to free me from that pain. And I just heard, if you're wanting to manifest more things in your life, you have to go and do that kind of work. You have to dive into what is your nervous system still gripping onto that maybe feels restrictive, or it maybe hinders your belief system. So for example, if you don't believe you're worthy of receiving a good relationship or money, that's because at some point you weren't valued as a child, you weren't acknowledged, you weren't, I have one friend and her dad, I think her parents were divorced, or maybe they never got married, I don't remember. Forgive me if I don't know this, if I don't say this correctly, but her dad was kind of like not living with them. And she would hear him on the phone say, well, I'm not paying for her dance lessons. And that was sending a message to her saying, you're not worthy of my money. And think about that. That's dipping into her psyche, and it's planting a seed in her that's now telling her in her adult body, you're not worthy of spending money on you. So excuse me, she might have this blockage where she might struggle to attract money because she has that conditioning. So in order to release that, she has to go back to that little version of herself and cry and nurture her and say, oh, I'm so sorry that somebody did that to you. I'm going to take care of you from now on. We are worthy of so much. And you really have to sit with that and kind of like cry it out. Because when you fully feel the pain of that little girl's experience, your younger version of yourself, that's when your nervous system can finally relax. Because when your nervous system is not relaxed, there's a little child in you screaming and saying, listen to me, nobody's listening to me, nobody loves me, everybody rejects me, everybody leaves me. And you have to go and like calm down that little child and say, you're safe now, you're no longer in that environment, I will protect you forever, I am your best friend, we're going to go get your favorite drink, we're going to go get your favorite candy, we're going to spend time out in nature together. And that's why I do these things, even though this is unhealthy. This is me nurturing my younger Michelle, because when she was a kid, she was not given the opportunity to go explore and to get her favorite drink and to have these things. Certain times in my life, yes, but for most of my childhood, my nervous system was like, I need to be a certain way to please other people. I need to make sure that I don't get in trouble or I don't piss off somebody in my house. So now I nurture that inner child. So my advice to all of you, if you want to co-create more things in your life, if you want to manifest, you have to learn how to address what happened to you as a child, because your belief systems are all from your conditioning from childhood. Okay. Hope that wasn't too loaded. And I just saw this at the bottom of the deck. So I feel like, again, this is for divine masculine. They're going through this, a little bit of a heartbreak to me. The energy when I just got this was, it's not a big deal. This is going to be painful, but it's not that painful because they know that they're going to something better. So like I said, this is heartbreak, breakdown, job changes. You feel a little lost. You don't know who you are. And it can feel like somebody's tearing your heart out. But for me, the energy behind these two is they're not that bad. So let's not look at them. I really don't feel like it's going to be that bad of a tower moment. I think it's going to be consciously created, and there's going to be a good conversation, and then there's going to be a resolution, a peaceful resolution. So let's get an animal card on that. The tiger. Divine timing. Good things come to those who wait. So having patience, if you're somebody who's witnessing somebody else go through a tower moment, be patient. The universe is kind of manipulating it and controlling it, and it's going to take care of you. So you can trust that dragon card, the universe is going to kind of like guide you through it. Think of like a magic carpet ride. You're going to hop onto the carpet and you're going to go through the storm. That's like the best visual that I can have of a tower moment, and trusting that you're going through a storm. So it's going to be windy, it's going to be rainy, there's going to be lightning, you might be scared. But the universe, you're on this carpet and the universe isn't going to let you fall. So divine timing, trust that everything's going to happen when it's meant to happen. And I was watching a video today talking about attachment styles. So like anxious avoidance, fearful avoidance, secure attachment styles. And they were talking about how sometimes in partnerships, there's a tiger and then there's a turtle. So, which I always see turtle signs all the time. So I feel like the person who I end up with is going to be like a turtle, which means when we get triggered, they're going to go in their shell, but I'm a tiger and I'm going to want to go after them and I'm going to want to help them and I'm going to want to say, like, come out of your shell, come talk to me. But I'm learning that if you are going to be dating somebody who has a fearful or avoidant attachment style, it's important to let them go in their shell and say, hey, you can take all the space you need. I'm still here. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going to get too close, because normally with avoidance and fearful avoidance, or even anxious, they when they get too close, it's like scary. It feels like death when they're getting too close for intimacy. So they pull away. So if any of you watching have been with somebody where you have this amazing weekend and you get like super, super close to them, and then they pull away and don't text you for a couple days, that's because they're not used to having intimacy. They might have been a baby that was born and the parents were like, well, you can go cry yourself to sleep. And there's, I'm not going to sit here and say that there's a right or wrong, but when a baby is crying, they learn to soothe in your arms. They're still soothing themselves, but they're soothing with intimacy. And it's not a dependency, it's a healthy, loving, the baby's learning how to soothe themselves in your arms. But when you leave a baby to do it on their own, they are suppressing the sadness. They're realizing that nobody's coming to save them, so they just push it down and they stop. And that's what builds this independent avoidant, because they're not used to being held. So, if your partner was somebody who was not held a lot as a child, maybe they were neglected, maybe their parents never asked them how they're doing, they're used to that distance. So when they get close to you, it feels like death. It feels like something they're not used to. So then they pull away. So understanding all of this and being mindful of this will help you if you're in a relationship with somebody like this. But the lady who I was learning from, she was talking about the tiger and the turtle. And she said, if you're the tiger energy, if you're somebody, when you get triggered, you fight, you want to go after, you want to poke, you want to ask a million questions, you're going to have to learn how to work with a turtle. And a turtle likes to go into a shell. And it's so unique because I have a picture of a tiger in my house and I love tigers. And I always see turtles all the time. They're like my sign from spirit. So I feel like that was the universe saying that I'm going to end up with somebody who's like a turtle and I'm a tiger, and I'm going to have to learn to work with the turtle energy. And the turtles are slow moving. They need time. You have to give them a little bit here and there, and that's okay. But learning about this is going to help you. All right. So I don't know how long we've been going. Let's get a couple Make a Magic cards. There's your answer. You can trust that voice. You're allowed to rest. You don't have to do anything else. The universe is taking care of it. Be the bee, take the vacation, and rest. Divine timing. Remember, the tiger said divine timing. You are the sunshine in their life. So as they go through this, the small doses of you that they get is just what they need. You're just what they need. They need your light. They need your sunshine. So you don't have to do too much. You don't have to buy them things. You don't have to cook them things. You don't have to write them notes. Just your energy alone is enough for them. And especially for an avoidant or a fearful one, if you do too much, that's intimacy. And then they get scared again and then they pull away. So learning this about yourself and your partner is huge. Well, hello, twin flames. So if you've been seeing 1111, that might mean that you are a twin flame. A twin flame is considered to be one soul split into two bodies. So you might have the same features, you might look completely different. Twin flames are apparently here for a mission, whether you believe in it or not. I'm still like, I heard the phrase like 5 years ago and it kind of like made my body vibrate. And I'm like, oh my gosh, who's my twin? I don't know if I believe in this. And then I thought somebody was my twin and then they weren't. So I went on this long journey of all these different men that popped into my life, but they were all catalysts for growth. They were all teaching me more and showing me more of who I am. And the most recent guy who I connected with, he's been the most like me and I've learned the most with him. So I still don't know who it is and I'm not really tied to it anymore. I'm just kind of like, I only want a partner, like I talked about in another video, who I have such peace in my life right now. Like I only want a partner who's going to add to that. I'm not really fixated on, is it my twin? I'm really just open to having a wonderful man. It doesn't matter what he does for a living. I just want peace. And I want somebody who, you lay on a couch on a Sunday morning and you make pancakes together and it feels like heaven. That's what I want. I don't need them to be out changing the world, doing a million things. That's all ego. That would be my ego wishing for that for myself. I just want peace because I know what I'm doing is impactful and I love my job. So I found my mission. I'm here. Now I just want to share life and eat pancakes with somebody. Preferably, hopefully, they would make me the pancakes. Heck yes. And have a bunch of money together. I'll manifest the money and he can cook me the meals. Trust the timing. All right, this is going to be our final card. So that tiger, again, the divine timing. You can trust the timing of when the man, the woman, and the money are going to show up. So a lot of times twins, when they come together, oh man, they manifest great amounts of money together because they're vibrating on a certain level. They have so much love in their heart that it pulls in this money. I thought it was a bee, but it's just a fly. All right, lovies, I hope you enjoyed this reading. Thank you so much for being here. If you need help, if you need a personal reading about your twin flame journey, like I said, I've been coaching twins for about 5 years now. I have a ton of success stories. I don't like to be a twin flame coach on my channel because I just believe that some people get roped into that label and it can kind of hinder them and it can kind of stop them from learning lessons with other amazing people on their path. Here, I'll leave you with this. See that tree behind me? Think about you are on that tree, you're a branch, right? And my mentor taught me this. So with the twin flame, it's an energy. So if you're on this one branch, right, here's your branch, you might have 5 different smaller branches coming off of your branch. Each of those 5 branches represents 5 different people that are going to feel like home to you. They're going to feel like it's the one. And it doesn't mean it's going to last for 30 years, doesn't mean it's going to last for 2 years. We don't know what our souls choose to experience, but on that branch, we have these 5 different people. They're all here to help us. And we don't want to close the door on one of those branches just because we have this label that we think somebody else over here is our twin. So we're not going to entertain this amazing person who's knocking on our door with flowers. So don't get so caught up in the concept of twins. I believe in them. I've seen it happen. I see twins out in the world and they're doing their mission together and they actually look alike. There's twin flame coaches who I always love to watch and listen to, but I know a lot of people get trapped and get kind of like stagnant on their journey when they're so obsessed with it. So don't be too obsessed with it. Be open to it, but know that you have a branch and you have multiple branches that you're going to connect with in this lifetime. So be open to all experiences because 4 of those branches might be leading you to your real twin. Okay. And some people like to call the other branches false twins or karmics. I just see them all as beautiful humans, whether they're hurtful or not. They're here to help you grow. They're showing you more of you. My mentor also taught me that they are all reflections of your ego. So if you go back and look at those partnerships and you see, I had one guy who was like a super perfectionist and I could just feel it in his energy. I was scared to make a mistake around him because he was such a perfectionist, but that was showing me that I was still trying to be really perfect in my life. And he was a great mirror. He showed me that I don't have to be that way. And in his life right now, he's probably still doing it. I don't know if he's growing and changing or not, but that's not my responsibility. But I dated him for a little bit and then I left the partnership. And now I know that if I have dreams about him or if I see somebody that looks like him, that's the universe telling me that I am back reverting to my old pattern of trying to be perfect. Isn't that cool? So a lot of people overthink their dreams and they think, oh my God, I'm dreaming of my ex. What does that mean? And I just see it as, oh man, I think I've been in that energy again. I think I'm back in my ego trying to be perfect and I don't need to be. So your subconscious, your psyche will bring this forward to you in your life by showing you this person in your reality. You'll see somebody that looks like him. You'll see his name somewhere. You'll have dreams about him. And it's the universe showing you that maybe you're in your ego. And he's a reflection of that ego from your past. And your soul wants you to kick back into alignment and get you out of ego So it brings it to you in your reality. But a lot of people don't know this, and a lot of people get all, oh no, is this my ex coming back? Am I supposed to be with them? Are they my twin? And they go on these loops in their head. And that's where I kind of grab their cute little face and I'm like, nope, you're stationed right here. The universe is going to bring your perfect person when you're ready. We can't do anything about it right now. If they're coming back and texting you, that's a different story. Because then you can kind of test the waters and see, have they changed? Do I want this energy in my life? But remember the tree. You are a branch and you have multiple branches on your tree. And essentially, you get to choose what branch you want to be with forever. So make a wise choice, but do your healing along the way and don't block any branches from coming in because they're here for your healing and they're here for your growth. All right, lovies, sending you so much love. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell. And again, like I said, if you need a personal reading, I'd be happy to do that with you, or just a coaching session about masculine energy or whatever you felt called to learn about in this reading. All right, I will see you in the next one. Peace out.